Dondozo and Sneasler was able to get second place at the big online tournament for the start of Regulation I. We're going to be trying out Sneasler Dondozo paired with Calyrex Shadow Rider and Miraidon and see how well the team can perform. This is a recreation of Pearl's second place VR team. Let's break it down. First up, we have the Sneasler, a popular pick in Regulation H when Urshifu was banned, but when Urshifu came back, it kind of disappeared for a while, but has resurfaced in Regulation I because this Pokemon can probably be pretty annoying because of the synergy that it has with both restricteds, especially on this team. You have the Electric Seed and the Unburden ability, which is great because Electric Seed increases its physical defense, which is pretty nice when electric terrain is up on the field. It's a consumable item, so Unburden activates immediately, and then it doubles its speed. And Sneasler already has a base 120 speed stat, and then multiplied by 2, yeah, it's outspeeding Pokemon even if they get Tailwind up, so it's absolutely crazy there. You have the Terra Dark as a defensive type to help out against the Astral Barrages and the Psychics from Calyrex Shadow Rider. The original team did have Ghost to be able to be immune to the fake outs, but in general you have the faster fake out, and Pearl did say that he would probably run Terra Dark, so we're trying out Terra Dark for this case, just being able to help out against like the Calyrex Shadow Rider lead mirrors, so that can be very helpful there. Because what you really want to do with the Sneasler, it has close combat, Dire Claw, Toxic Spikes, and Fake Out. The main goal, of course, Fake Out, really strong damage output from Calyrex Shadow Rider, Miraidon, and Chiyu, but also strong damage output, close combat with Astral Barrage is a very great combo because nothing really resists it. If you resist the Astral Barrage or immune to it, being a dark or a normal type, you just get hit super effectively by close combat. Dire Claw, we know how absurdly crazy this move is with the chance to get statuses, and we've seen this a lot in Regulation H. It's great to hit the Terra Fairies, especially the Miraidons that do run the Terra Fairy still, and then Toxic Spikes. So a lot of Regulation G had the Galarian Wheezing, which was cool because it was able to get the Toxic Spikes that could help wear down your opponent, so you could stall with Dondozo or maybe put it in range of like late game Calyrex Shadow Rider. But that Toxic Spikes can really just add up, and with Sneasler being fast thanks to the Unburden and Electric Seed, even against opposing Pokemon if they have Tailwind set up, like the fact that you can get Toxic Spikes up and set up while having good offensive pressure is still pretty impressive. So that is what makes Sneasler a really great combo with Miraidon and Calyrex Shadow Rider, because the Unburden and Electric Seed combo, but the Toxic Spikes, the fighting coverage for Calyrex Shadow Rider, it is pretty impressive on what this Mon can do. The EV spread I made for this Sneasler is just max speed and max attack with 4 defense. I was messing around with some numbers and then I was looking at it more closely and I'm like, okay, you're probably still running a lot of attack to put on pressure. It's got base 130 attack. Sneasler's not the bulkiest Pokemon. I did have some idea of going with like an adamant nature initially, but then when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, there are 2 things that I could see myself running Jolly Nature for instead, which was A, that this Pokemon outspeeds base 135 neutral natures like the modest Miraidons, adamant Koraidons out there, adamant Chienpaos with the 188 speed stat with the Jolly Nature, which was really cool. So I thought, okay, that's definitely worth it. And then there's Roaring Moon as well, which is a Pokemon that I'm not sure if it's going to be super common in Regulation I, but it did pick up towards the end of Regulation G. So I thought, you know what? If I can outspeed and threats in the close combat forcing into a Terra, I think that's still very worth it. So at the end of the day, Sneasler's not an incredibly bulky Pokemon. Might as well just go with the max attack and max speed. And the 4 in defense, I think, is for some roles on Surging Strikes. I think it makes it a bit better, but this Pokemon is just very frail, so I'm not really expecting too much out of it. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Miraidon with the Assault Vest and the Hadron Engine to activate the Electric Terrain, and the Terra Fairy as his defensive type with Electric Drift, Draco Meteor, Dazzling Gleam, and Volt Switch. Pretty much what we see on Choice Specs Miraidon, but Assault Vest is probably, I'd say, the second most common item on Miraidon. We've seen it at the World Championship do well, and it's able to do pretty nicely because Miraidon does have some pretty good bulk when you look at it. Base 100 HP in defense alongside of 115 special defense. With the Assault Vest, it's able to tank the special attacks pretty well. Makes Astral Barrage a 3 KO, which is pretty nice. And yeah, it's just able to tank a lot of damage. You don't need the Choice Specs because you do have the Beads of Ruin support with the Chiyu. You have the Toxic Spikes damage that could add up, the support from the Sneasler with a fast attack, Shadow Rider. Sometimes you don't even want to get the knockout because you want to put them in range of Astral Barrage from the Shadow Rider so it can get the KO and then a special attack boost. So there are definitely a lot of cases, and the Assault Vest just allows you to actually have a defensive mon on this generally frail team. So Having the Assault Vest is pretty nice. The coverage, of course, is pretty impressive in general, especially with the Terra Fairy being a great defensive typing, especially against opposing Miraidon, powering up the Dazzling Gleam. And, you know, Volt Switch, very good move. Able to pivot around, can be a mind game with Dondozo stuff, and just able to dish out a lot of damage thanks to the ability, even without the choice specs. So the EV spread, though, we are running a modest nature with 212 special attack. That does give a big boost with the Hadron engine plus the special attack stat point as well, I believe. The 196 speed with a neutral nature does allow the Miraidon to be able to outspeed base 110, specifically that Ogerpon. Pearl didn't give the pace of the team, but did give some hints on what the Miraidon benchmark should be, and it's a lot of special attack alongside speed to be able to at least outspeed Ogerpon, which I do agree with, because you do want to outspeed the cornerstone Ogerpons and threaten the sturdy, and you still want really strong double ups with Shadow Rider, Sneasler, and Miraidon alongside Chiyu, because these are just some of the fastest Pokemon in the game. So you do want to take advantage of the speed. It has good general bulk already, so just dish out as much damage as possible, and then just a leftover investment into bulk. Not really much else to say there. Next Pokemon we have is the Calyrex Shadow Rider with the Life Orb as one for the ability, with Terra Dark as the defensive type, with Ash Barrage, Psychic, Encore, and Protect. It's really interesting to see the Encore Shadow Rider. We did see this do well in Regulation G, especially by Kyle Livinghouse, getting top 16 at UIC with it. But Encore Shadow Rider, definitely a threat. And you don't really need Nasty Plot with this team because you're just dishing out damage already from the get-go. There's not really any supports other than Fake Out Sneasler to really go for a Nasty Plot setup. And because these Pokemon are frail, probably unlikely that it is able to set up a Nasty Plot safely. You just want to go for big damage immediately. So Life Orb able to boost up the power. Terra Dark is going to be your Terra type to be able to help out in the Calyrex Shadow Rider mirror with resisting Astral Barrage while being immune to the Psychic move. And you're able to fire off Astral Barrage Psychics for some very heavy damage. And Encore, I think, is just really nice in general, because if they play passive with the T-Spikes up and you can stall out the poisons, it's just really tough for your opponent. So they might have to switch, get another Pokemon poisoned, or be locked into a move that's just unfavorable for them. So Encore can definitely threaten quite a bit here, especially like against setup Pokemon especially. And then the EV spread, I don't know. You could probably just go max special attack and max speed on the Calyrex Shadow Rider. I was thinking of like, okay, what could potentially be a little bit annoying? And I felt like, okay, Choice Scarf Urshifu with Surging Strikes and Terra Water could be a bit annoying. So I thought, okay, why not make it a really good chance to live a Terra Water Surging Strikes with the Calyrex Shadow Rider just in case. So you can fire off an Astral Barrage or Psychic if need be. So I thought, okay, make it the best roll possible with the 84 defense. That gives it the most massive jump point without investing as much defense as you need, because you still want special attack to hit hard with the Life Orb. And then you do want max speed on Calyrex Shadow Rider, because every Shadow Rider in this format is probably going to be max speed. Next Pokemon we have is Chiyu with the Choice Scarf, Beads of Ruin, Terra Ghost as the defensive type, with Overheats, Heat Wave, Scary Face, and Snarl. It was interesting because Pearl did have Dark Pulse on his original build, but said he would probably replace it for Scary Face. I think having an extra speed method is pretty nice, because it can allow consistency against opposing Shadow Riders, could allow Miraidon to guarantee outspeed, which is pretty good, and go for attack and get a knockout, which is pretty big, especially with some of the speed tiers of base 135s to the 150s. It's just, it gets a little bit crazy there. So I think it's like a really cool tech here. And Snarl for just being able to have a spread move against Calyrex Shadow Rider redirection, which is pretty nice. Overheat and Heat Wave is really good. And yeah, Choice Scarf Chiyu is just really strong right now, especially with Zamazenta and the Calyrex Shadow Riders that are pretty common as a pair. So Chiyu is a really great way to threaten both of those Pokemon offensively. The Terra Ghost as a defensive type to help out against the Body Press, the Fake Outs, and close combats that could affect the Chiyu. And really, I felt like Chiyu, you're pretty much just going max special attack, max speed, maybe a Timid Nature could be instead, but I'd rather have the modest damage because this team is all about getting really strong knockouts. Finally, the infamous Dondozo with the leftovers, unaware for the ability with Terra Grass as a defensive type, with Earthquake, Body Press, Order Up, and Protect. Overall, I think we know how annoying Dondozo can be, especially with the Commander and Tatsugiri, giving Dondozo +2 in every single stat. This Pokemon, especially built to be bulky, is really obnoxious to get rid of while still being able to dish out a lot of damage, and the leftovers just adds up over time, healing it Unaware also prevents any setup from affecting the Dondozo. So if they are a nasty plot Shadow Rider, they got in the special attack boost. Same with Ice Rider and the attack boost. You're just ignoring all of those, and yeah, they're not able to do as much damage as before. The Terra Grass is defensive type to help out against the Mungus Spores, the Sleep Powders, the Miraidon electric moves. Is just one of the best defensive typings out there for Dondozo. And then the moveset, Earthquake as a spread damage, Body Press because you are running a physically defensive set and you're stacking up with a order up from a Tatsugiri Droopy, which gives it a defense boost every time to help power up the Body Press, but also allow Dondozo to tank the attacks better. And yes, it's just able to stick around. The Eevee spread is from a player known as 45 Mice, who was able to get top 16 at the Pokemon World Championship in Regulation G, and this is just a very physically defensive Dondozo set. It's pretty much, you don't need much HP because it's base 150 HP already. You're pretty much fine there. For attack, because it's just a leftover attack, you're running 196 defense with a plus nature that gives it a stat point extra jump, and you're able to just really just throw off really strong body presses. You still want special defense because that's where Dondozo's weakest stat is, so you do want to increase it so it can still tank attacks. And then the 156 speed gives it a 75 speed stat. With the commander, it will be 150, which allows you to outspeed Neutral Nature, Max Speed, or Shifu, because that hits 149 and then you'll hit 150 with the speed jump. And then Impish Nature, again, you just want to be able to tank the attacks, dish out as much damage with the body press, and you pretty much are stalling with the Toxic Spikes because you rack up the damage and then you just sit there, take the attacks, dish out really strong body presses or chip damage with Earthquake, and then order up as well, so you can just tank the physical attacks even better. What else to say? The final Pokemon for the team is going to be the Tatsugiri Droopy form with the Focus Sash, and the commander for the ability with Stellar Terra alongside Draco Meteor, Muddy Water, Helping Hand, and Protect. Pretty standard Tatsugiri. Of course, you do have the Focus Sash on the Tatsugiri, so you're able to survive one hit, which is pretty nice because the Tatsugiri gets targeted after Dondozo gets knocked out. You are able to stick around and then maybe draw off a Helping Hand in the end game for this team because you got fast cleanups with Shadow Rider and Miraidon, for instance. And yeah, it's just able to do quite a bit with that Stellar Terra in case you need the extra power, because you don't really need a defensive typing here in most cases. Draco Meteor and Muddy Water just able to hit pretty hard, and Helping Hand again to boost the power of the Miraidon and the Shadow Rider. Eevee spread's pretty simple. You just want to do damage with Tatsugiri. It's got one of the better special attack stats in the game with 120. You just go for as much special attack, max speed, and yeah, you don't need Timid Nature. It could outspeed maybe like very few niche things, but it's not fast enough to outspeed a lot of the main concepts, so you do run the Modest Nature just to increase the special attack. But mainly it's here for the pairing with the Dondozo especially. Overall with the team, you have two main different modes. It's the offense mode with the Sneasler, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Chiyu, and the Miraidon. Maybe sometimes it brings solo Tatsugiri, but in those cases, you do just go with more offense. You go with the Sneasler for the fake out support, so you're restricted to do a ton of damage and really strong double ups that are fast. You also have the Toxic Spikes that can just be able to set up for the Calyrex Shadow Rider, getting those knockouts that it might miss, and also just wear down your opponent over time. It's just able to do a ton of damage, and it's really good offensively. The other mode that you really have here is going to be the Toxic Spike setup with the Dondozo. Generally, you would bring Sneasler. You go for the Toxic Spikes with that Sneasler, get them on the field, chip away your opponent, maybe get one KO, and then set up for Dondozo so it could stall out thanks to how bulky it becomes with the commander boost. And yeah, you just chip away your opponent's team and you're able to win the game. But if you're not able to, hopefully you saved one resource left so it can clean up in the end game. And let me know in the comments down below, do you think Dondozo is better in Regulation I than it is Regulation G? I think it's a pretty interesting discussion because Regulation G, you could afford to run Dondozo more and able to stall out, but in Regulation I, you do have two restricted, so more firepower against Dondozo. But is it still bulky enough, and is it worth it on teams? It did just get second place at the VR tournament, so might be a contender for still viable Pokemon that is still annoying as always. Also, I will make a note for the video. Throughout the video, I kept changing the Shadow Rider as well as the Tatsugiri because I played the first couple of games with attack order and did not realize until I realized in one game, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to be attack order up. I'm supposed to be defense order up. I did not notice that. And then there was also another game where I think Shadow Rider was Terra Fairy instead of the Terra Dark because I thought I changed it in Sage, but apparently didn't. So Yeah, there were quite a few mess ups here. So if you see the team changing throughout the video, that's the reason why. All right, we have Tornadus with Umbreon, Milotic, Zamazenta, Calyx Shadow Rider, and Urshifu. Kind of curious on which Urshifu this is because they have a water and a dark type. It's interesting to see Umbreon. It did do well at the 2019 World Championship, and it has done some things in Gen 9 restricted. It got top 4 at a regional Reg G, but otherwise, I'm kind of curious on how this build's going to go. I think I always lead Miraidon. I think Miraidon is pretty good here. I think Miraidon Sneasler is probably the call with the Dondozo Tatsugiri, because I don't know if Shadow Rider is worth it if they have the speed advantage, and Chiyu is just so frail that I don't think it's ever worth it. The problem is it's going to depend on the Urshifu set, because Urshifu set's going to be massive on figuring out, oh, if it's Dark Urshifu, Wicked Blow is going to hurt like a truck, but we'll see. I don't think I have to Terra though, at least, which is nice. They led straight away Zamazenta Calyrex. Interesting. Okay. As I do lead my Sneasler plus the Miraidon. So Miraidon does get the electric seed boost onto the Sneasler. Did we see the Zamazenta ability activate before or after the Miraidon? It's okay. So Miraidon should be faster, which is good. Volt Switch and a Dazzling Gleam is or a Dire Claw is very tempting. I could fake out here and Terra Dark, which isn't a bad play either. I could also just go for a T-Spike because the T-Spike will allow... Well, the thing is they have Milo. Did they have Haze? I just realized that was not a good brain process plan. I think my play is just to always Terra Dark and fake out. Did I Electro Drift? Calyrex. I think I should actually. Because yeah, I would Electro Drift to Calyrex. And Terra Dark fake out to Zama. The reason I would make this play is because the Calyrex shouldn't be able to knock out the Sneasler in any chance. Miraidon doesn't really need the Terra in this matchup. I think I always just get a T-Spike up the next turn or Dire Claw to Calyrex, assume, depending on if it's Sash or not. No protects. I do get the fake out off in his Zamazenta, which is nice. Astral Barrage goes fired off. I have a Assault Vest on the Miraidon, so I should be fine. Yeah, I take the attack with ease. That should be Sash, because that did no damage. Yeah. Do I Dazzling Gleam here? I could Electro Drift the Zama. There is a chance they're Terra Dragon. They expect the electric move. I think we just click Dazzle. I think we Dazzle and T-Spike because if the Calyx switches out, we get the T-Spike and that just secures a really good position. Yeah, I think that's probably worth it. We do see a Terra. This is probably Zamazenta. There's no way it should be the Shadow Rider. Yep. Yep, it is Terra Dragon. Perfect. So getting this T-Spike is massive because getting this T-Spike allows me to get a Dazzling Gleam off into the Zamazenta. Oh, they didn't protect. Okay. So I do get the T-Spike off, and they give me the Shadow Rider here. Yeah, say Astral again, which is cool. These are survives. I'm able to get a Dazzling Gleam off. That's massive. Zamazenta takes that massive chip damage. It also shouldn't be able to touch Dondozo. They body press my Miraidon, which is cool. All right. It's going to come down to Urshifu sets, because I think the Urshifu set's going to be massive. We are going to go out into Dondozo, I think, here. Milo comes in. Okay. Are you Haze? We'll find out, but you are getting poisoned here. This might be my best place just to body press the Milo in close combat for as much damage as I possibly can get into Milotic. Because I'm not really too concerned about the Zamazenta with my Dondozo. I'm going to get as much damage as I can into Milo, I think, with close combat for body press, and then hope another body press KOs. Because they might Haze. Body press. Okay. So Sneasler goes down. If it's Dark Urge, I'm a bit scared, but with Focus Sash Tatsugiri, I might be okay. I don't know. We'll see. Boy, oh. Well, we're unaware, so we don't care about that. Okay. And unless the Milo's faster than +2 Dondozo, which you have to be max speed in order to do that, I just don't see that happening. Yeah, really nice. Now we bring in Tatsugiri, we get the commander, and now we just go for an order up into the Milo slot, and I think we're in a good shape. Again, it has to be Dark Urshifu back to screw me over, and they can't tear us, so that's nice. So we go for order up to increase our defense. We could Earthquake, but I am not risking them randomly clicking Wide Guard and then them getting a Haze. Although Coil is probably Coil Hypnosis, so it's unlikely to be Haze. But I'm just covering my bases. As you can see, the Body Press does absolutely no damage. Order up is going to KO the Milo at this range. Critical hit does not matter. All right, and then it's just going to come down to last. Who is your last? Horn could be a bit annoying. Umbreon should be whatever, I feel. Because it might just go down to body presses. Oh, it is Umbreon. And they get poisoned. Beautiful. All right. Nice. Nice. We're just going to spam order up, I think, into the Zamas. And yeah. We go for body press. Just again, it's not doing any damage. I don't think Umbreon doesn't have attack that changes this position. Yeah, foul play is just not doing anything. Cool. Like, they could yawn, sure, but like, what's yawn building up to? Not really anything. Then they double protect, and then it's like, what? They body press crit, foul play crit. It's just not doing anything to Dondozo, so I didn't think they had really an out. And that is Dondozo just being able to do Dondozo things. I'm going for body press and Umbreon in case they protect the Zama, but they're going to forfeit. Zama wasn't even that big of a threat, but I'm pretty sure +4 body press now KOs Umbreon, especially after the chip. So I was going to go for it. Beautiful. Should have thought about the Haze Milo, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway unless they read my close combat, went for recover, and then lived the body press afterward, which... You're asking a lot from Milotic, so I'm not too sure about that one. But I was just able to get really good, I think, immediate turns. And that big damage in the Shadow Rider, getting rid of it quickly. The Dazzling Gleam damage, the T-Spike was just beautiful. Well, it looks like we're getting a rematch, which is funny because I actually waited like a minute or two before finding a game. But all right, so we kind of know some things. We know it's Sash Calyrex. We saw that there wasn't Horn being brought, so I'm kind of curious if I could bring EU lead, but I'm not sure if they... Because I feel like you bring Ursh, but I don't know what kind of Ursh it is, I suppose. I think I'd go I think Sneasler plus Miraidon's fine, though. I think Sneasler Miraidon is still probably my best lead because there's just so many opportunities to set up T-Spike, for instance. There is just so much offensive pressure I could go. And I don't know what they had for Dondozo Tatsugiri. If it's Coil Milo, I'm pretty sure it's not Haze. I'm pretty sure it's the Hypnosis stuff, which means that with Electric Terrain, I'm immune to it with Dondozo, at least for a couple turns. And like, even if they Hypnosis, they can't do anything to my Dondozo without Shadow Rider. So again, I think we go with the same plan. I just can't really see what's wrong with it here, but we'll find out. If they lead the same thing, which is... No, they lead Torn Ursh this time, which... I mean, against a Miraidon. Yeah, I don't know if this is that great for them, but I mean, sure. Get the defense boost. I think I always just go for a T-Spike here. And I always just go for a... I Electro Drift here? Or do I Dazzling Gleam? I don't know if it's Sash Torn. I feel like Protect on Ursh makes so much sense here. I think I just Electro Drift anyway, the Ursh and T-Spike, because if they Protect, I get the T-Spike up. It has to be Scarf Ursh to outspeed me. Let's see if it is. Nope, I get the T-Spike up. Okay. So that means Shadow Rider's on a timer, which is beautiful. And Surging Strike into Sneasler. But Sneasler has done his job. It's got the T-Spike up. I guess I could have faked out, but that means they got a free switch to Shadow Rider or Zamazenta. I think I still prefer just being able to get to that. And Electro Drift. Yeah, KO's Ursh. Okay. And the thing is, the Torn is not in a great position for them, so this is really nice. I can go out into Dondozo pretty safely here, or I could go Tatsugiri, but I think Dondozo is always the choice here. Calyrex is going to come in, which means it loses its Focus Sash. And I don't see why I wouldn't protect Dondozo and Electro Drift unless they want to protect Calyrex, switch out into Zamazenta, but even then I think that's fine, realistically. Because I don't see how they're breaking through this. Yes, I'm just going to protect, and I'm just going to go for Electro Drift. Do they have like Terra Grass, Terra Ground? Like, if they Terra Ground is actually kind of annoying, but then they still can't break through Miraidon. They didn't protect the Cali, so I'm pretty sure they can't do anything here. Astral Barrage. Unless this Torn has some kind of heat, like a Flings King Rock. Like, that's what it needs here. Astro. As you can see, no damage to Miraidon. It's just Bleak Wind, yeah. Like, I think the Salvus Miraidon is just too strong here. Bleak Wind does nothing. And goodbye, Shadow Rider. Does it hang him from poison? I don't think it does. Yeah. And now if it's Zamazenta's not doing anything. All I have to do is just keep body press, or not body pressing, going for order up into Torn. Oh, Milo. Okay, yeah, they absolutely cannot do anything. It's poison as well. I guess I'll just target the Torn because that's the thing that's doing the most damage to Dondozo. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for Electro Drift because, yeah, there's just nothing they can do. There's just nothing they can do. There are some teams in this world that cannot break through this Miraidon. And even the bulkier stuff, like, the thing is, they weren't doing damage. They were getting worked on by the T-Spike. The offensive mode they brought this time with the Torn Ursh didn't even work because Miraidon just is able to tank those attacks. The Shadow Rider can't do much because it's Sash Astral. It's not doing even half to my Miraidon, and like Zamazenta's like the only mob. But the thing is, my Dondozo and Sneasler has been annoying to it. So yeah, they didn't have the best answers to it. Zamazenta, Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Incineroar, Indeedee, Amoonguss, Raichu. There are so many support Pokemon. It's all about the restricted Pokemon. It looks like for my opponent, they do actually have a Amoonguss though. So I don't know if it's Clear Smog, which is going to make the Dondozo matchup. It would be great otherwise because it kind of walls this. But I mean, they don't have a good answer to Chi-Yu. I think Chi-Yu is just such a safe lead in general. What do I want to go? Do I want T-Spike up? There's an Amoonguss. I don't think it's really as valuable. I think Chi-Yu Calyrex is probably like the best combo I could ask for. Yeah, I think it's the best combo I could ask for. Oh, wait. Did I change the Terra on my Shadow Rider? I don't think I did. I did not. That's a reminder. I don't think it was Fairy on this team. I don't remember if it was Dark or Normal or not, but that's actually a big impact. All right, that's going to stink a bit here for this. Bring Miraidon Sneasler in the back, I'd say. Dondozo doesn't do much. Tatsugiri, I guess, could theoretically do things, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'd rather just have the offense here. If they have Clear Smog on Amoonguss, they're probably going to bring it, but I think you probably bring Amoonguss regardless. We'll figure it out. Amoonguss leads with Indeedee. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't have Expanding Force. Gonna be the Psychic Surge with the Psychic Seed, so they take the attack better. I got a few options. Like I could go for a heat wave and a psychic. I could go for snarl, which I think snarl is probably a really good option. Snarl Astro just covers every switch. I think I snarl Astral. They're gonna Terra. If they Terra like an Amoonguss or the Entity, like this is why I went for the Astral in case. Oh, it's Terra Dark. Okay, that makes sense. Huh. All right. Should have heat wave then, but that's not the worst because they have to play a defensive position here against what I have currently. Special attack drop. Astral. I wish I psychicked, but that's fine. All right. Good damage into the Amoonguss. Okay, that's a new one. Oh, they have. This isn't a Zamazenta, so you get a +1 special defense and a +1 defense. Oh, Incineroar came in. Wait, they didn't even bring both the restricteds. Okay. Spore. Okay. That was risky though. I could have brought in Miraidon. I debated it too. I probably should have realistically, but even then I think this is fine. I think I could just go Miraidon for the Chief slot and I can just go in as Sneasler for this slot. I don't know if you parting shot Spore here though. If you parting shot Spore, that's pretty bad. I think I should still go Miraidon here and Sneasler regardless, because I think Chiu's just so valuable that it's just worth it. Also, the fact that they gave their special defense boost to Incineroar, you would probably assume you want to keep it, right? You want to keep it on this? So let's figure it out. I might want to go for close combat. I could also go for a T-Spike so I could start wearing these Pokemon down, because that would be nice. All right, what are you doing? All right, bring out the Miraidon, get the electric terrain up. I also threatened the Amoonguss, I think, with Dazzling Gleam. Maybe I should have taken the turn to sleep, but this is in case they knock off the Calyrex slot. All right, Electric Seed and Burden's active. They retreat the Amoonguss. Okay, is this Shadow Rider? No, Entity. Ooh, all right. Are you going for... If they parting shot, they are just making really impressive plays. No, they knock off. Ooh, they tired my Miraidon though. That's not great for my Shadow Rider. Okay. But they don't have the Electric Seed boost anymore. Can't I just Draco Meteor the Entity and go for a Toxic Spike? I think I can. I'm just going to do that. Because if I get that Toxic Spike off, it's just going to wear down the Amoonguss. It's going to wear down the Incineroar and the Shadow Rider if it's in the back. And more importantly, break a Sash on Shadow Rider. Because they don't have speed control other than Trick Room Entity, I think that I could probably win with Chiyu. But I do need to break a Sash on Shadow Rider at the first stage. And if it's almost in the back, we're completely fine, right? I'm going to Draco Meteor the Entity because I don't know if Close Combat would knock out the Entity because I max attack Jolly. I'm not max attack Animate. I think Animate definitely would. Jolly, I would probably say not. It could be a roll. I'm just going to T-Spike here. I'm going to get Draco Meteor off into Entity because Draco Meteor should KO the Entity. It should be like max defense if you're running Psychic Seed. We're going to see the Entity retreat. So whatever's coming in is taking a Draco Meteor. So whatever's coming in is going down. Amoonguss. Okay. Amoonguss might not go down to this, but like the T-Spike is up. The T-Spike is up. Goes Draco Meteor. The damage. Knock off again. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, Miraidon is pretty okay with that. I like the idea of just Volt Switching here. Volt Switching the Incin. Or do I Volt Switch the Amoonguss? I think I should just Volt Switch the Amoonguss. At close combat. This is Flare Blitz. It's not great, but I feel like you would have went for Flare Blitz if, earlier if you had it. I really think you should, but we'll see. If the Amoonguss gets greedy and switches out, I mean, everything's getting poisoned, so they don't really have the opportunity to switch, I think. I just want the Volt switch. And if they give me a chance, I'm really surprised they left the Entity vulnerable to close combat, so I'm not sure. What are you gonna do here? I think, I mean, I would Rage Powder, I think, if I was them. Unless they forgot that I have the burden boost, but yeah, they switch out Amoonguss. I mean, is this Zamazenta? It has to be, right? That was Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider gets poisoned, and I get the close combat into instant. They already Terra'd, so I don't have to worry about it. And because they Terra'd, now I get my Chi-Yu in. I click Snarl, and if I KO the Incineroar, they just lose to Chi-Yu Snarl plus close combat. Dang, that was weaker than I thought. I'm not intimidated, right? I'm pretty sure I'm not. Volt switch into you. I think I go Calyrex. Because I can't go Chi-Yu and get knocked off, because then I actually have a very bad case where I could lose. You go for Parting Shot. Okay. Wait, this is... might not be terrible. I think it's pretty bad. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's definitely fine. No. I think I could win with Terra Ghost Chi-Yu plus the combination of Miraidon. But it's getting spooky. It depends on the Shadow Rider attacks. It's probably just going to click Astral. I think you go Entity here. You could go Amoonguss, but you're getting poisoned, so I don't know if that really impacts it. You go Amoonguss, okay. I'm guaranteed to sleep with Shadow Rider. Actually, no. This play is always go hard Chi-Yu, right? Yeah, go hard Chi-Yu. Close combat the Amoonguss. Yes. Sneasler's going to go down anyway, so even if I Terra Dark, it doesn't change anything. I close combat the Amoonguss. I shouldn't go down to an Astral Barrage no matter what. And there should be no move that can actually one-shot my Chi-Yu in this position. I'll go for Terra Ghost Snarl, and assuming I just land a Snarl, I'll win the game. Unless this is Scarf Shadow Rider for some reason, but I highly doubt that. Amoonguss going to retreat, which is fine. Is this Entity? Or okay, if they give me Incineroar, I don't even have to Terra Ghost anymore. No, I think I should just guarantee win here. Yeah, no, I guarantee win here, I'm pretty sure. Assuming I land Snarl into the Calyrex and it's not a random Choice Scarf variant. Or for some reason running Cobra Berry. Because I knock out the instant. There's no fake out available to them, even when Psychic Terrain wears off. Astral Barrage going to be fired off, knock out my Sneasler. Yeah, they couldn't knock out my Chi-Yu. Is that Life Orb damage? That did a lot. That did do a lot of damage. Could be Specs. I go out into Miraidon and I'm in a good spot. Because now I can just go for a Dazzling Gleam, Terra Fairy plus Snarl, and they have no switch-ins. Like, they legitimately have no switch-ins. So Amoonguss is going to come back out, but the Choice Scarf, Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam with the Beads of Ruin, like, I definitely KO the Amoonguss, so yeah, there's not much they can do. We'll go for a Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam plus Snarl. Let's see. Let's see if... Okay, they retreat to Calyrex, which makes sense. Into Entity. I don't know. They can't win any... Oh, I guess they're going for turn off the Electric Terrain. Do I still KO the Amoonguss? I feel like I do. I think the Dazzling Gleams still KOs, if I'm not mistaken. But this is actually their smartest play. I don't think Heat Wave knocked out Calyrex, so I think I had to go for Snarl here. So I get the Terra Fairy off with my Miraidon. Snarl does land, which is important for damage. I don't know. This is Beads of Ruin, Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam. We're not specs now. That's the problem. I do get the Dazzling Gleam. Comes down to do we KO? Okay, yeah, we KO Amoonguss. I had a feeling we probably did, but that was their best out because their hope was to get a Spore off into Chi-Yu and then bring in the Shadow Rider again and just click Astral. I guess the thing is you still have to hope that Chi-Yu stays asleep because the Chi-Yu didn't go down to the first Astral, which means, or didn't take 50% from the first Astral, which means you do have to hope that I do stay asleep because you don't have like a boost on the Shadow Rider. Snarl is my best option here, and we go for pretty much anything at this point. We're gonna Electric Drift. I mean, it just comes down to hitting the Snarl, and we do. I thought that missed for a second, but then I saw the Chi movie. I'm like, okay, yeah, we hit it. Okay, definitely a rough start. I think I should have always just swapped out into Miraidon to avoid the Spore. Yeah, swapping out to Miraidon would have been good. Even if they got Trick Room up, it's like Entity plus Amoonguss would have been just not doing that much. I was hoping I could get a knockout early into Amoonguss because I was in a good offensive position, but it was a smart Terra Dark, and the fact that I didn't get the Electric Train meant Calyrex was basically useless for the rest of the game. However, the fact that I was able to get a good position, I think, with my Chi-Yu next to Miraidon with all the damage that I was getting plus a T-Spike up, it was just really hard because they had no speed control. Conkeldurr for Rigorath, Torkoal, Calyrex, Ice Rider, Iron Hands, and the Miraidon. I mean, Conkeldurr does get access to Wide Guard, but I'm not exactly too sure here of what I'm expecting. Is it Clear Smog on Torkoal? I feel like they usually drop it, so I feel like my best option is just to get T-Spike up. T-Spike up. Do I don't think I... Did I bring my Miraidon? No, I don't think so. It does damage, but it's not necessary. Then again, it does more damage for Rigorath than Calyrex does. But I would probably... Do I want to leave Shadow Rider or do I want to leave Miraidon? I do want Sneasler because T-Spike is always so good in this matchup. Assuming it's not the Clear Smog Torkoal, which means Dondozo should be able to wall. I feel like Sneasler Miraidon is probably... Or do I even bring Dondozo mode? I don't have to bring Dondozo mode because maybe I don't break through the Miraidon quickly enough. This is tricky. I think I'm going to do Shadow Rider Sneasler. I'm going to try out the Dondozo Tatsugiri mode here. Let's see. It might have been the best lead was to lead Shadow Rider plus Chi-Yu. No, actually Shadow Rider Chi-Yu would have made a lot of sense here because I could go for Terra Ghost with Chi-Yu, threaten Overheat Astral, or maybe like Overheat Psychic into Farig. I don't know, there's a lot of combos I could have went for. We're gonna see the combo of Calyrex, Ice Rider, and the Conkeldurr. Okay, as I lead Sneasler plus the Shadow Rider. Now, unless this is Terra Dark on the Conkeldurr, I feel like this is probably like Wide Guard shenanigans. I think my best play is just to fake out the Ice Rider, unless it's Covert Cloak for some reason, and go for a Psychic into the Conkeldurr. If they double protect, I get an Encore T-Spike combination, and then that's really bad for them. All right, yep, no protects, and the Conkeldurr got left out here. Yeah, they went for Wide Guard. Which, I mean, the thing is, I guess they weren't expecting to fake out. I guess because they had a Farig potential switch, but I don't think it's Farig back. I think it's probably... Oh, it is Sash. Okay. Look at Sash. Okay. That's fine. I'm just going to go for a T-Spike anyway, for sure, with my Sneasler. And I'm going to go for a Astral, I think, here. Because if they Wide Guard again... I mean, I think they always Wide Guard, but I want to give them the free switch. I mean, it adds up the poison damage, which is kind of nice. But they might get greedy with Conkeldurr. Although I don't think they should ever really get greedy with Conkeldurr here. I think I go for Psychic. Or I Encore the Conkeldurr in a Wide Guard so it can't do anything and is forced to switch and be in an unfavorable spot. I kind of like that more, actually. I'm going to Encore. We're going to see the Wide Guard, which is beautiful. And I'm able to get the Encore off into Conkeldurr. Basically, the Conkeldurr is going to be wasting a turn of Trick Room, and they don't get like a switch into a heavy offensive mon, which I think is really valuable to me, as I get the T-Spike up with my Sneasler. Really nice. Okay, that is awesome. And Trick Room goes up. All right, looking pretty decent so far. Now, are they staying in? Is the question. I think I always just go Dondozo for this slot and just click Protect with my Calyrex this turn, because I could go for Astral here, but I don't know if they're going to stay in to click Wide Guard or Heart Swap. But if they Heart Swap, someone's getting poisoned, then the Conkeldurr, when it comes back, it gets poisoned. One turn to Protect will work out here. We're going to see the Conkeldurr retreat. Okay. Into what? Iron Hands, that's fine. Okay. It gets poisoned, which is the important part. So Iron Hands is on the timer, which is beautiful. We do get to retreat the Sneasler out into our Dondozo and protect our Calyrex. All right. Glacial Lance, yep, to be expected. Now, I want to go offensive with Shadow Rider because like the Tatsugiri switch is so obvious, but I could also protect Dondozo, and that might also be obvious to my opponent. So it's kind of a weird mind game scenario, which I don't know which one is actually more worth it here. I feel like my best play is just to click Order up into Calyrex. Yeah, I think it's just to order up the Calyrex and go out into Tatsugiri and start building up this damage. Because Calyrex should be the only Trick Room mon that they brought, unless they foregone Miraidon, and I just don't think they foregone Miraidon here. So all I have to do is get rid of this Calyrex, and to help start off, I do want to order up to increase my defenses in case the Iron Hands does have Wall Charge. So I will go out of Tatsugiri. Wait, am I attack booster? I chose the wrong Tatsugiri. I didn't realize. I forgot you have to get a droopy Tatsugiri. Okay, I was using that for the last 2 games too, and I never realized. Low kick doesn't do anything. Oh, that's so funny. And I probably have gotten to order up attack boost too, and I've just forgotten. I just keep forgetting. All right. I mean, low kick usually means it doesn't have earthquakes, or low kick usually means that they don't have what's it called? Low kick usually means that they don't have Wild Charge, so I should be able to get a earthquake off. There's no way you should go Miraidon here for either slot. They do have Wild Charge actually. Okay, and Dondozo takes it. All right. High horsepower. No crit. Go for the earthquake. I wish I had that defense boost, but we will get it for the next game. I'm glad I kind of realized this before I got the rental out. That's just funny. Okay. All right, Iron Hands goes down to the poison, which is ideal because whatever comes in is taking the poison damage. And the Calyrex has taken a lot of damage, where I think we're in a good spot. So this should be Miraidon coming in. Because if you go Conkeldurr, it just faints, and then that's just one resource that just goes down. I think that is Conkeldurr though. Okay. Okay, so let's start a Trick Room. I actually want to attack because if Dondozo does somehow go down this turn, I want the free switch to Shadow Rider so I can actually click Astral Barrage. So I think I always just Earthquake here regardless. If they Wide Guard, that's fine. Is it fine? Actually, that should be okay. They protect here. Drain Punch? Hawk Punch, okay. So I do go for the Earthquake here, which will knock out the Conkeldurr. Then it's Miraidon back. I'm probably going to have to stall out another round with Trick Room, but it should be fine. Yeah, and then I'll also have Tatsugiri in as well. No, yeah, I think I'm in a good spot. Because Trick Room is weird. This is the problem with Trick Room on Cali Ice Miraidon stuff. If you're Trick Room on Cali Ice Miraidon, the speed tiers with the Miraidon and the Cali Ice are just so awkward. Unless this is Room Service Miraidon. But if it's Room Service Miraidon, I'm probably just getting a Earthquake off regardless. Let's see. Are you? No. Pretty sure I just always protect the Dondozo here. Because I'm pretty sure that my Dondozo is pretty slow. Yeah, they're going to forfeit because they kind of realize they can't really Trick Room, because if they Trick Room, the Dondozo's faster than Miraidon. And if they don't Trick Room, then they lose to Shadow Rider because I just outspeed an Astral Barrage. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the cores. The speed tiers are just so awkward at times. And that was a huge moment there. But yeah, I'm changing this Dondozo to Droopy Dondozo, or not the Dondozo. I'm changing the Tatsugiri. I'm getting my other Tatsugiri, and we'll be right back. Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Xianpao, Dragonite, the Incineroar, and Ogerpon Heartflame. We are back with the Droopy Tatsugiri, which realistically in this game is actually quite an important factor. So we will be bringing... Actually, no, there's no way you're Haze, Xianpao, or Dragonite on this team, I think. I really don't think so. Pokemon Heartflame is a bit scary, though. That is a bit of a scary mod to handle. I think I just want to lead Miraidon Sneasler. Electric Seed boost. It's really hard for them to knock out Miraidon quickly. I think Dondozo back is pretty good. I like Tatsugiri as the last. Yeah, I kind of like this. Chiyu, it's good against Restricteds, but there is the Dragonite plus POW mode I'd have to play around. I don't know if we're going to see the fire types, but we'll figure it out. Mainly because the fire types do kind of struggle, I think, to actually do damage here. While, like, I think the Chiyu is so important to, like, being able to break through that, yeah, they're going to bring something like Xianpao Dragonite lead, which is not surprising to me at all, as we lead Miraidon plus our Sneasler. And I think that this is a pretty safe... I could Fake Out here the Xianpao, or do I want to read Terra Ghost? The thing is, do you Terra Ghost turn 1? I doubt it. Like, my safest play is just to set up a T-Spike here with Sneasler, because Sneasler lives any attack. I could also just draw off a Dire Claw, but I don't know if I want to do that. Do I want to Terra Fairy? I don't know. I don't think I need to Terra... I don't think I Terra... Actually, no, I don't think I ever Terra Grass. I guess I can afford to go for an attack with Miraidon. Like, I could go for a Dazzling Gleam to break, like, Multi-Scale on Dragonite as well as the Sash on POW and go for a T-Spike, which is actually pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I don't know if you could really Terra Normal with the Dragonite here because the Sneasler threatens close combat. So there's, like, a lot that could go on. Maybe an Extreme Speed goes into Miraidon plus an Ice-type move, which I think is fine. We do see a Terra involved here. Let's see who's Terraing. Is it going to be the Dragonite or is it going to be the Sneasler? Or it is Xianpao. It is a Terra Ghost on the POW, so this actually works out really well for me. So I am going to be able to get a T-Spike up as well as Dazzling Gleam breakthrough. Hopefully the... I don't know if this is multi-scale or inner-focused Dragonite. I didn't want to risk Fake Out, and I didn't want to risk playing a Mind Game here, so I think that this is pretty safe. Because they don't have Extreme Speed putting on a lot of pressure here. And I get a T-Spike up, which is super valuable, I think. I think Ogerpon is the only thing that could be back scary. Okay. Extreme Speed does way more than I thought, actually. Does I get a T-Spike up? I don't know. I don't think we're getting our attack off. Oh, it's Ice Spinner. Okay. All right, Ice Spinner to Miraidon. Miraidon goes down. Not the worst, but not the best. Oh, it's Life Orb POW. Good to know. Electric Train disappears from the battlefield, but that's okay. Because I can go to Dondozo here. I think it's really important to start stacking up boosts as quickly as possible. I think the play is to order up the Dragonite as quick as possible and go Tatsugiri. The question is, are they going to protect from Dondozo plus the Tatsugiri switch in, or protect Dondozo and Dire Claw, or are they going to read something else like double up the Sneasler slot, because Dondozo protect is obvious, but also the Tatsugiri switch is obvious, so it's always just a mind game. I think I don't really lose too much if I go for this, unless it's Haze on one of these Pokemon, which, again, I don't think Life Orb POW runs Haze, and the Dragonite's Bandit, so I don't think there's Haze on this team. Let's see. I would like the attack. Okay, yeah, they did double up the Sneasler. I think they read the double there. Nice, beautiful. Okay, so I got the play right there, which is amazing because I am able to get the order up, and that's a free defense boost for my Dondozo. We actually KO'd the Dragonite. Okay, so that was definitely inner focus. Good to know. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't go for a fake out with my Sneasler the first turn because that would have been worse. But yeah, obviously not super ideal, but still very playable as we see Shadow Rider come in. And it's going to get poisoned. Do I want to Earthquake or do I want to just protect? Because the thing is, I'm kind of liking the idea of Earthquake while the POW is out because I have the... I like Earthquake here. I really like Earthquake here because getting the immediate damage into Calyrex. I don't think Protect changes any calcs from Earthquake and the 2 poisons change any calcs. So I think it's okay to Earthquake here because they have the Sword of Ruin active right now, which I think is massive for me. Astral Barrage gonna be fired off. Dondozo eats that up. Perfect. Oh, it's Sacred Sword of Life Orb. Okay, but we are hanging on. We are going to be able to get an Earthquake off, which is beautiful. That's more damage into Calyrex, which is amazing for me. Yeah, now POW is super weakened. Yeah, like it looks like an extra protect and matter there, so that's actually really good. Or does it? I think if I just protect here, I'm safe. Because it looks like I'll live another Sacred Sword and Astral Barrage the following turn. I mean, if they go Zamazenta, it doesn't really change that much. And then the Shein Pow gets poisoned on top of that. So I don't think they can really afford to switch. So we're going to protect our Dondozo. As they go for Astral Barrage again and Sacred Sword. Yep. As long as Dondozo survives this double up, I think we're fine. And I'm pretty sure we do. Sacred Sword. If we get the same rolls as last time. But yeah, that's 2 turns of leftovers recovery that we just got. So I think we're good. Calyrex is on the timer. Yep. As I said, the first protect didn't matter as much. We're going to go for Earthquake here. They're going to go for Astral. Yep. I wonder who the last is. Is this Zama? That's a good question. Yeah, Dondozo should tank the attack. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. And then Earthquake going to knock out the POW. Their Terra's gone. And looking pretty good as POW does go down, but Dondozo is just so bulky. Imagine if I had attack booster for this game. If I had attack booster for this game, it would have been so bad. I'm really surprised Order Up actually knocked out Dragonite. I know there's Sword of Ruin and we were +2, but it's like not a strong attack. So still shocked by that, but it works out beautifully here. If it's Zamazenta in the back, I'm pretty sure Dondozo just always wins here. Yeah, it is Zamazenta. It doesn't get poisoned, but the thing is, the Zamazenta cannot do anything here. So we go for Protect with Dondozo. Then we order up the Zamazenta. Yeah, I just don't think they can do anything. I'm pretty sure Body Press doesn't KO, but if Body Press does KO, we have a bit of an interesting game. But they don't have Terra, so I can go for Close Combat plus like Muddy Waters. I still have my... Oh, no, I don't have my Terra, so I can't go for Stellar Terra, Muddy Water. But I mean, Close Combat plus Muddy Water is pretty strong. I think 2 Muddy Waters would seal it, but we'll see. I think our best play... I mean, we're +3, right? Yeah, we're +3. I'm pretty sure we always Body Press the Zama. I could order up, but I think we tank it anyway. Yeah, like as you can see, we already tank it. Body Press going to come out. Yeah, and I just get the damage I need for Sneasler to outspeed and KO the Zamazenta, so I guarantee win here, unless they're max speed Zama, and I just miss every single Muddy Water / Draco Meteor in existence. But yeah, we do win. I'm gonna be forfeited. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. T-Spikes is just... T-Spikes with this is just... Oh my... Get me out of here, man. Get me out of here. All right, we have Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, Pelipper, Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Landorus Incarnate. Which mode do I want to go here? Do I want to go offensive with Shadow Rider, or do I want to try something different? I mean, there's the Wide Guard Pelipper. They don't really have much to beat Terra Grass Dondozo, I think, if I T-Spike up. Yeah, I think the combination is just Sneasler plus Miraidon. I think Sneasler, Miraidon, Dondozo on the back, and Tatsugiri is pretty good. I guess Rillaboom, Calyrex, Shadow Rider is still a really weird lead. Yeah, it would be a bit of a weird lead. Because I don't get the offensive pressure against the Shadow Rider. Well, I don't think they ever fake out the Sneasler. I guess the question is, would you Psychic? I still think that this is okay, but I'm debating about leading Dondozo with Sneasler instead of Miraidon because I think I could like switch to Miraidon, click T-Spike, which wouldn't be an awful decision, and I would have Electric Terrain up. But Grassy Terrain might benefit Dondozo healing, so I don't know. Let's try it. The important part is getting the T-Spike up. If we can get the T-Spike, we'll be in a good spot. But I really need to Terra, I think, on Dondozo. Unless I get like multiple order ups quickly. But I don't know if that's possible. We'll see. Gonna be Landorus and Incineroar. This is an interesting lead. I mean, I guess this works out for my opponent because it's Miraidon plus Sneasler lead. Are you Terra Ghost Landorus? That's a good question. Am I willing to gamble at all right now? I don't have Terra Ghost on the Sneasler since it's Terra Dark now. I think Fake Out to the Landorus is still the best play though. I think it's Fake Out to the Landorus and just drop a Draco into Landorus. Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm gonna Fake Out the Landorus and actually would I even have to KO Landorus? I probably do. Yeah, I'd rather just Fake Out Draco Meteor. No Terra Ghost, beautiful. As I'm able to get a Fake Out on Landorus. And we're just trading Fake Outs, okay. I mean, I think this is a really good spot for me because I don't see how they're beating me going for T-Spike here with Sneasler into a Draco Meteor and a Landorus. I mean, if they Terra Fairy, they Terra Fairy, but that's okay by me. Like, I get the KO on Landorus, which is a huge special attacker. No switches, which is nice. I get the T-Spike up. Sandsear Storm, that's fine. Even if I lose Sneasler and damage on Miraidon. Forgot it was Scarf because it did move before my Miraidon, but I think that's okay because getting rid of this Landorus is kind of nice still. Yep. Beautiful. By Landorus, and let's see if Incineroar gets a double knockout here or not. Actually, if it was Terra, I wonder if they did have Terra Ghost. They just Wisp here to try and catch the Dondozo. Okay, that's fine. That is fine, because the T-Spike adding up is really crucial anyway. I got Tatsugiri here and threats into Muddy Water. Or did I just go Dondozo? I feel like I could go Tatsu, but the problem is it's a bit of a... No, it's too risky, I think. I think I always just go Dondozo, because Calyrex should be coming in here. Yep, Calyrex is going to come in. Now the question is, who's the final Pokemon in the back? Because that's going to be an important one. Also, like, I guess I get stalled out of my leftovers recovery, which could be pretty bad. But yeah, I will protect Dondozo, and I'm just going to switch into Tatsugiri here. Because Wisp, Knockoff, I want to see if the Incineroar decides, hey, I'm going to go for the Terra Ghost and Wisp here. Because I think they should always Terra the Incineroar in this matchup. If that's the case, do I order up or do I Earthquake? I probably just Earthquake to build up damage into Calyrex first then. Nasty Plot doesn't change anything. Substitute's the only move on Shadow Rider that actually probably threatens the Dondozo at this range. But yeah, they are taking quite a bit of damage from the Earthquake coming out. And I don't think they're ever going hard into Rillaboom. They would parting shot into Rillaboom if anything. No Terra Ghost. I could have body pressed, so that's unfortunate. I mean, Nasty Plot doesn't change anything. I'm unaware. They go for a knock to get rid of my leftovers. Yep, that makes sense. Does Body Precious KO Incin? I feel like it might. I don't have Wave Crash, which is the unfortunate part. If it's Zamazenta, though, in the back, I think I win by just clicking Earthquake and getting damage into Calyrex. So I'm going to go for Earthquake. We are going to see the Terra. I imagine this is Protect and go for a Wisp or a Knockoff. Either of them makes sense. Shadow Rider Terras. for Astral Barrage damage, I mean, that's fine. I don't think that changes too much because you're taking an Earthquake and then you're taking the poison damage. So that's pretty bad for them, I think. Yeah, Tatsugiri, immune. I mean, how much does this do? I don't think it does. It doesn't do over half. I can tell you that much. Yeah, it does like no damage. Earthquake. Oh, I KO'd the Incineroar because I critted. That's an unfortunate crit because depending on what they went for, if they went for Wisp, it matters. Or does it? I mean, Earthquake into the poison is just acting up. Let's see what the final mon was. Because I think I would have just been spamming Earthquake for the rest of the game. But if it's Rillaboom, I guess that changes it. But yeah, I'm just surprised that they Terra Ghost. It has... Is this Zamazenta back? Okay, it's Zamazenta back. I feel like I was fine because I would just spam Earthquake and the Calyrex Shadow Rider was not able to break through Dondozo. Even if they got a knockoff, like they need to crit with Calyrex. They just had no leftover because the thing is Calyrex is just on a timer and it just can't do anything here. But yeah, now I just went with Dondozo guaranteed with the crit. Like even without the crit, I think I was fine. Instant was gonna live, but like there was not much that they could really do. They're gonna wide guard. I'm just gonna stall out a poison. I mean, they nasty plot again, sure, but like it's unaware Dondozo. I guess if you double crit to knock out the Dondozo, maybe. Yeah. Actually, no, crit with just Oko, right? I'm pretty sure Astral Barrage crit with just Oko. Actually, terrain disappears from the battlefield, but that doesn't matter. I go for body press damage, I suppose. Yeah. Because the Calyrex goes down in 2 turns anyway, so I could just protect on the final turn. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. All right, no revenge crit, so I'm good here. Yeah, they go for body press, but it just doesn't do that much to Dozo. The body press off into the Zamazenta. Like, even then, I think I just had way too much HP remaining to win this game. Like, I realistically think it was just a really good chance of me just being able to win the game by stalling with poison. Because Dondozo was still going to be ticking around because they didn't have much offense, even if they did get like a Wisp or something. And if they knocked off, like, again, like I don't get leftovers recovery, but I had like plenty of health against Instant plus Calyrex. Especially since they Terra Ghost to Calyrex, they had no good switch into Earthquake. So yeah, now I win by just protecting on this last turn of poison, and then I'd be able to body press. Yeah, there's not much that he can do there. So that's kind of the thing. Dozo is just super oppressive. It is just super oppressive there. Kyogre, Tornadus, Calyrex Ice Rider, Indie Female, Landorus Incarnate, and the Iron Valiant. Okay. I mean, Dondozo looks really good. Dondozo looks really good. I think I do like Dondozo. I like Sneasler a lot. I like the Miraidon. Shadow Rider is also pretty good, but I don't think it's necessary to win this game. I think I'll just go with the Dondozo mode plus with the Miraidon plus Sneasler, because if I get a T-Spike up, I'm in a really good spot. So that will be the game plan. I guess it depends on if the Kyogre leads and if the Kyogre has Thunder, because I could actually change plans. Because then I don't think I'm able to stall out Kyogre that effectively. Also, the defense boost only really matter towards the Cali Ice, so I might still be vulnerable to like a bunch of special attacks. The Iron Valiant's going to be a big question mark because does it have Encore? Encore is going to be a big deal. If I get the T-Spike up, I don't think it's as big of a deal, but if it does get a T-Spike and I'm not able to get a KO quickly, it could snowball out of control, I think, because Encoring the Dondozo, if it's Encore disabled, that's the worst case scenario, but we'll see. I don't really want to play the Shadow Rider. Like, I can't really bring Shadow Rider Chi-Yu into Torn Ogre. That's the problem. I can't do that, so, like, I always bring the Miraidon, but I don't bring the Chi-Yu for sure in this matchup. I could bring the Shadow Rider plus like Tatsugiri, I suppose, but I think I would rather just bring Dondozo because I think it would be able to enable more, especially with the T-Spike, but we'll see. Kyogre plus Indeedee, okay. Versus Miraidon and Sneasler, all right. I think my best play is just to fire off a Dazzling Gleam to weaken the power of Water Spout and go for a Dazzling Gleam? Either Terra the Kyogre and go for Trick Room. Defensive Terra and go for Trick Room, I think. Or they just go for like Follow Me plus like whatever Kyogre wants to do here. I think I just want a T-Spike up. They got Psychic Seed on the Sneasler or on the Indity, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Dazzling Gleam's not going to do too much. I could go for an Electro Drift, I suppose. Power Water Spout doesn't matter in the long term. Yeah, I'm just going to go for T-Spike and Electro Drift. They do go for the Terra, so this is probably Terra Grass. Unless they're going for Terra Water, but Terra Water's fine. You're going to see the Terra. It's Terra Water. Okay. I mean, that's fine for me. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think Kyogre can break through Dondozo that easily. What? Did I Electro Drift the Kyogre? I did, right? I did, right? I'm like pretty sure I did. Please tell me I did. Oh, it's Scarf. Interesting. Okay, they go for the Water Spout, but I'm a Assault Vest Miraidon. I'm not... Yeah. So that would have probably KO'd a Specs Miraidon. But... Actually, I don't even know if it would KO Specs Miraidon. But doesn't KO my Miraidon. So I got the T-Spike up because I'm burdened. I get the Electro Drift off. I'm really glad I didn't go for Dazzling Gleam because that would have been silly. I was not expecting Scarf Kyogre. But yeah, Kyogre goes down. Got the T-Spike up. Looking like a pretty good game so far right here. Feeling I'm having a pretty good spot. I'm going out into Dondozo. Iron Valiant could still be scary, but we do have the T-Spike up against Iron Valiant, so it's not nearly bad. Lander's going to come in. Pokemon's actually kind of a problem. But I just go for... I just order up the Landers, right? I order up the Landers and I go for a Volt Switch. Yeah, because they don't usually run Protect on Indity. I might have to... Do I Terra Grass the... I feel like I don't Terra Grass my Dondozo, but we'll see. They go for Helping Hand, which makes sense. Although, I don't think Draco Meteor was knocking out, so I think this is okay. Get a Volt Switch off. Get some damage on the Indy. More importantly, I get the switch into Tatsugiri for the boost. I mean, Landers is still scary. Landers is still scary. They bring in the Tatsu. I will get some damage in the Landers, which is important for Dazzling Gleam range, potentially. Like, Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam could be a threat if I don't want to Terra Dondozo, which is pretty likely. Let's see. Are they max speed? They're not max speed Landers. That's the slow Landers. Okay. I get a big order up into Landers. Okay. Sandseer. So it's modest. This is going to hurt. Ooh. That damage. That damage. Yikes. That's a lot of damage. Okay. Ooh. Can I... Do I win this? I think I body press the Inity. I don't think I think if they get Trick Room up, I'm in a bad spot. So I do go for the body press here as they follow me. Okay, this is perfect. That means they're not getting a Helping Hand attack, which is good. Body press. I KO'd the Inity with a crit. I don't know if the crit mattered because we were +3, but we gladly take it because it forces the Cali Ice in and it's going to get poisoned. So Earth Power going to come into Dondozo. We are able to tank it. Okay. This is nowhere near over. Because this is Cali Ice coming in. Yep. I think my best play is just to click Body Press into Cali Ice. Yeah, my best play is to click Body Press into Cali Ice, or it's Protect. But I think I want the initial damage into Cali Ice because if they go for Trick Room, the Landers has to KO the Dondozo, right? And if they KO the Dondozo, that means Tatsugiri still has its Sash available. But that's only on the assumption that I outspeed the Landers in the future turns. Yeah, but if the Landers is slower than Tatsugiri, I lose anyway, right? Because I can't KO the Landers. I'm pretty sure with Body Press. Yeah, I gotta go for the Body Press here. I just gotta hope that... Oh, they protect the Cali. I mean, that works too. I'm actually okay with that. The reason I'm okay with that is I'm pretty sure that I could just go for a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam endgame with my Tatsugiri. So I think that's okay. I go for Sand Seared, which is fine. Oh wait, Dondozo lives. That's actually awkward. Okay. Yeah, Dondozo living there is awkward. Sansir is spread, so it's actually weaker. But yeah, that's... I think it just depends on what they want to do here, but I am always going to go for body press into Cali. Because I need the damage into Cali, I'm pretty sure. It's so weird here because it's just going to come down to the speed tier of that Landorus. The fact that the Landorus is slow. But the thing is, it doesn't look bulky because I'm pretty sure Order Up should have done more. I don't know. It's really hard to say. It's just weird because the Landorus is not modest max speed. They go for a double protect and get it, which is actually really unfortunate for me. Okay. Sansir. KOs to Dondozo. Alright. I mean, if I protected, I would have been fine. I would have been getting poison damage and then still threatening with body press. The rain ends, which is awkward for my Tatsugiri because I would have liked the rain still around. Psychic Terrain disappears, doesn't change anything. I go into Miraidon. So I can KO the Cali Ice with Electro Drift. Actually, do I have a guaranteed win? I think I do. I think if I Terra Fairy with... Or not guaranteed because I could still theoretically lose. But I'm pretty sure if I go for Electro Drift into the Cali Ice plus Helping Hand, I get the KO in the Cali Ice. I'm pretty sure I do. And the reason I'll go for the Terra Fairy is because with Terra Fairy... plus the Assault Vest, I'm pretty sure I'll live Sansir Storm barring no crits. I'll KO the Cali Ice with the Helping Hand Electro Drift. Then I could go for Helping Hand Dazzling Gleam and finish off the Landorus. Because I don't think you go for a Triple Protect here. And if you do and you get it, I'll have no words to say, man. Okay, yeah. Get a Helping Hand Electro Drift into the Cali Ice. I KO the Cali Ice. That's exactly as I expected. Okay, beautiful. The poison damage really acting up there. The Landorus is going to click Sansir. Yep. As I thought, I do live with both. Perfect. And I guarantee win here because it's single target Dazzling Gleam now with Helping Hand. I should guarantee the win here. The thing is, they had to land both Sansir Storms and crit the Miraidon specifically in order to win that. And the chances of that were so low alongside or getting a triple protect with the... and getting a triple protect with the Cali as well. Like those odds were just so low. I didn't think it was very likely there. So that's why I was willing to go for it because I felt like the odds were really heavily in my favor to win that. We revealed the Landorus. I mean, it's Life Orb. There's no way you're Assault Vest. You're doing way too much damage. So the Dazzling Gleam should just KO the Landorus because Electric Terrain, same type of attack bonus, Helping Hand does knock out the Landorus, and that is a good game. Ooh, okay. Kind of got spooky because the Landorus actually was doing more damage to Dondozo than I thought because I didn't have a way to actually knock out the Landorus because I didn't have a water type move, but was able to have good pressure with the Dondozo. They kept protecting. They didn't go for Trick Room. I really am curious on what the Landorus speed tier is because that versus Tatsugiri, like a Trick Room game plan was going to be pretty much the decider, I think, because that would have been scary. They got Trick Room up. They were able to knock out Dondozo, then Tatsugiri in. Glacial Lands plus Sansir or Glacial Lands plus Earth Power. It really just comes down, I think, to Tatsugiri at the end game. All right, let's go over to games. I felt like that this was a beautiful setup. The immediate turn one was able to get Fake Out into Zamazenta, stop it from moving, get the Shadow Rider down to its Focus Sash. Then I was just able to get the Toxic Spikes while knock out the Shadow Rider. Haze on the Milotic could have been a little bit problematic, but it was not Haze on the Milotic, and I was just able to chip it away pretty consistently before the Tatsugiri came in. So the end game, I was just able to clean up with the Dondozo. Game 2, a rematch of Game 1. They went more of an offensive mode with the Urshifu Tornadus instead, but that is still really weak to the Miraidon. I was pretty much able to get the Toxic Spikes up, go for that Electro Drift, and knock out the Urshifu. And then, yeah, they still didn't have the best answers to the Assault Vest Miraidon. So I was able to knock out the Shadow Rider as well. Milotic came in. It's like, you still don't beat Dondozo in the end game, and you still don't beat the Miraidon. So not sure what was going on there. In Game 3, a lot of support Pokemon, which I felt like I didn't play super well against. I think I definitely should have brought in the Miraidon turn 1 instead of going for the knockout, because I really wanted to greet the knockout, because if I got rid of a Moongus, it makes it so much easier for my Dondozo to sweep. But instead, they made a really good Terra Dark play and was able to stick around and get the Spore off. So Definitely should have gone to Miraidon and thought about that a bit more, but they only brought one restricted. And the fact that I was just able to get that set up with the Chiyu, I felt like in the end game was pretty good, because they just lost Chiyu because I was able to weaken a lot of their Pokemon and set up for it. In game 4, Conkeldurr, which was interesting, and I cannot believe I didn't notice that my Tatsugiri has been the attack booster this entire time that I've been playing. I've made several errors where I felt like I kept forgetting to change something on the Mon for the team because I always miss a detail. I actually had to change my Calyrex Shadow Rider Terra because I forgot that I was using the wrong Tatsugiri. I was using my attack order up Tatsugiri when I'm supposed to use the defense booster, so there were quite a few mistakes that I just completely forgot, so I kept changing them throughout the video, but eventually got it right. But for this game I did have attack booster. Defense booster would have been really nice, but overall I don't think it was too bad. Was able to force the switch from the Conkeldurr. The Iron Hands got in and wasted turns of Trick Room, which was pretty valuable. If I had defense booster, I think this was pretty much set because the order ups would have been really nice here. However, don't think it was too bad because it was still really hard for them to break through Dondozo, and I was able to clean up really well with my Shadow Rider in the end game. In game 5, I am very glad I switched to defense booster on the Dondozo because I really needed it for this game, especially after the bad turn 1 as well. I don't think there was much I could really do because Xianpao was just with Dragonite. The combination was just pretty much I was always getting knocked out or taking a ton of damage, which both aren't exactly great here. So I think I'm glad the Miraidon went down so I could get my Toxic Spike up. And then afterward, I was just able to get Dondozo in. I got the Dragonite, which I wasn't expecting, but it worked out. And thankfully, Dondozo was just able to take the combination of attacks and pretty much get knockouts. In game 6, I might have made a risky play because the Landers definitely could have been Terra Ghost, especially since we did confirm the Scarf. But the fact that we were able to get rid of the Landers early on was actually pretty fantastic. Although it did get a bit awkward because they could have definitely Terra the Incineroar. Instead, they Terra Ghosted the Calyrex Shadow Rider for more damage, but I felt like if you Terra the Incineroar instead, especially like if I went for Body Press into that slot, I think that would have been pretty bad because I think they would have actually just been walled out from Dondozo, but instead was able to get a big Earthquake crit. I think I could have still won even if they got like a Will-O-Wisp knockoff or Parting Shot because of the tools that I had remaining and the Shadow Rider was on the timer, but definitely could have probably had a bit of a better position. In game 7, wasn't expecting the Choice Scarf Kyogre, but yeah, we were able to knock it out turn 1, which I'm very glad I went for Electro Drift into. The Landers was actually a bit concerning though, because it was actually doing some really good damage to my team across the board, and I didn't want to Terra Grass because then Calyrex Ice Rider goes for Glacial Lance and it becomes very awkward. So it was actually really weird to maneuver this position, but I think overall, assuming I didn't get super unlucky, I do think that I made the best possible situation where I was able to get the KO on Calyrex Ice Rider, and they again had to go for Sansear Stormland, both of them, and crit my Miraidon there, which felt like was just so unlikely at that point. So what do I think about the team? It is definitely a frustrating team, I think, to deal with. The Toxic Spikes combo, the Miraidon Calyrex Shadow Rider is a really good combination. I think Sneasler really pairs it together, gives it a physical attacker that's able to dish out a lot of damage. The Dire Claw didn't really impact, thankfully, but it can be frustrating for opponents. But the Toxic Spike is the main setup with the Sneasler alongside the Fake Out in close combat, so it's able to dish out a ton of damage. And yeah, there's just really strong things about the team. What can I say? The weak link for me was Chiyu because I didn't think I needed the Chiyu, but I think it could definitely play a factor. Again, I could have probably brought it against the Zamazenta plus the Calyrex Shadow Rider matchups, but I liked having fun with the Sneasler as well as the Dondozo Tatsugiri, so felt like it was a pretty strong mode. But yeah, if you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, you can check them out down below in the description. If you'd like to try out the rental code of the team, it is available for 1 week only. I thought about doing a Dondozo tax and only making it available for 3 days after this video came out, but you know what, keep it around for a week, so make sure you grab while you can. But if you have missed that opportunity, again, the paste is available in the description, and make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of regulation I teams that we will be sharing on this channel, so make sure you are subscribed for more VGC content as always.